Welcome, everyone, to the U.S. National Series race number 2 here in Charlotte. I'm Tyler Mosession, and with me is Miles Keller. Miles, how you doing today?
How's it going, man? I'm excited to cover this race. It's that
Yeah,
time of the
me
year
too.
again. We got the national series.
Yeah, we have another fast and exciting one in a year of sprints, as they would call it for 2025 for Spartan. So this is race number 2 of the series. We had Jacksonville back in March, and then we have Big Bear in May, and then Utah in July. Um, to kind of cover some of the race the series breakdown this year for those of you who may not know. So it's 3 of 4 races. We're here got like a little schedule here. So again, 3 of 4 races. You can drop one, so either don't no show or your worst race would get dropped if you were to do the whole series. There is a payout for this series. It's $5,000 for first, 3,000 for second, and 2,500 for third. And this is just for the series only. So each race does not have its own payout, but we are seeing a payout for the series.
Yeah, so I'll be excited to see it. What's also interesting that it's all sprints. It's always Spartan has kind of historically been longer distances. So I
Mm-hmm.
wonder what the catalyst was for them to make the decision to, hey, we're only going to do 4 races, best of three, all sprints. That's been very unlikely to them, and I wonder what. And what's also interesting is I wonder how many people are kind of gate kept from getting into the series because, say, for this race was yesterday, correct? It's on Sunday. That makes the travel schedule for people coming from out of state in a little more difficult. Some people might have a less versatile schedule when it comes to getting back to work, school, family, things of that nature. So it may I wonder how many more of the races will be on. Oh, the race was on Saturday. The
Well,
sprint
so
was.
the next 2 are
I
Saturday.
stand corrected. Okay, it said the 6th, so I thought it was on Sunday. Okay, so all right then, it handles that. But I'm also wondering why they decided to go all sprints.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so I mean, we talked about it a lot, right? Like, I mean, there's you have some sprint specialists, right? Like VJ Jones is somebody who comes to mind immediately, right? And he got a lot of flack for not really performing as well at beast races as he did at sprint races. But to the point, if you look at the track and field world, you're not going to expect Usain Bolt to line up for for his 200-meter and then also a half marathon. Right. So people are going to have their specialties, right? Some people are going to be 20, 30-minute specialists. Some people will be, you got people like Josh Fiore, who's a goat at 24 hours, right? But doesn't really do much shorter than that, to be honest. So, you're gonna have your specialties, and people are gonna start specializing in each distance. So, I'm
It,
excited to
it,
see
it
these.
also requires
Talking about it.
different energy pathways, right? Like the people
Oh
that have
yeah.
adapted to different pathways, like endurance. Some are the shorter distance, as we're going to see in today. I also feel like when we see this lineup, it's changed a lot. The face of OCR and specifically the Spartan U.S. National Series has changed quite a bit with a bunch of new faces, and you don't really hear the OG names that we're used to. But I'm really excited to get to know them and see what they can do, and see how much more they blow out the old times. So we'll see.
All right, yeah. So we're going to talk about the results from the first race. Again, this one was in Jacksonville here. So we had Adam Beach, who is will be with us today. He's first, and he 300 points. Then you had Brian Gowiski. He is not racing today due to an injury, so a spot opens up there. But he was second place. Third was Matteo Palizza out of Italy. Then you had Richard Shin in fourth, and Mike Strobel rounding out the top five.
Yeah, Mike Strobel's been one of those newer names to me. He's not new to OCR, but
Mm-hmm.
he's making big waves. He's doing fantastic. I really love watching this young man. Marcy is a grown man. He's not. I'm not sure he's that young anymore. But I'm old, so everyone's young to me. But what's
Yeah.
also interesting is what do we think about Matteo from Italy? And then we'll see in the women's field later on. There's also another woman from Italy, both these people from Italy competing in the U.S. National Series. What do we think about two Italian nationals competing in the U.S. National Series?
Yeah, well, I mean, it shows great commitment, right, to the sport and to the whole series in general. I'm sure maybe they're sprint specialists, so they got excited about this series. You saw it with Leon Kofed. You saw it with Leon and Ilda as well coming over
Yeah.
for a few races in previous
Yeah.
years. So even though it is a U.S. national series, we definitely are happy to see European contingency. I mean, even a guy like John Albin comes to mind, right? Someone who came over from Europe a lot to race the U.S. Spartans. So really excited to see what they can do.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I wonder what the talk about. That's a serious commitment, right? Coming all the way from Italy to coming in this, and I kind of like that Spartan. Yeah, well, being pro team members there in Italy. What's really cool is that to see the Spartan has always kind of done that, but certain other race brands, they're like, hey, no, you have to be a citizen in this country to compete. But Spartan has been very welcoming of people from outside of the country to come in, and I'm excited to get to know these because I know some of the pro team members from Italy. Not all of them. Ilaria being one of my favorites, but I'm excited to get to know these other people and see how it shakes up everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're going to pivot to the women's results from Jacksonville. So we have Cassandra Gill, who has been just making waves. I feel like every time I see Spartan post a top three, she's somewhere in that picture, usually in the middle. And here was no different. First place for 300 points. And then we had the aforementioned Claudia Bongiovanni, with the second place, 264. You had Kaci Monroe, who was also here, and that was she was third, so 236. Then we had Sabrina Buhagar in fourth, and Elizabeth White in fifth.
Yeah, and there is. I'm not surprised about Cassandra. She's been doing fantastic. She's a D1 running background, but the longer distances, that's why I'm really fascinated to see how she consistently performs in sprint after sprint after sprint when she normally specializes in the longer distances.
Yeah, I mean, last year she was the top American at the Morzine Spartan Ultra Championships. So, and I feel like she's just at every race, right? There's been a few that I think she did Atlanta, Beast and Super. She did, I think she might have even done the Beast in Houston. I mean, I feel like she's just been everywhere. I feel like she's been at more races than not across the whole Spartan calendar. So, just talk about someone
Yeah.
who's so committed to the game, right? I'm actually from a similar area to her, and she's always training at the rock climbing gym. Like she has just put everything into this sport. And so you love to see someone like that have a lot of success.
And then, of course, we got the other aforementioned Italian pro team member, the Claudia Bongiovanni. She's she competed as we saw there in the results in this last race. She'll be here for this race today that we're going to be watching. So it'll be really cool to see how her and her other fellow Italian pro team member is going to shake things up.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely excited to see them take off here. We should be starting that race somewhat shortly here. Um, Yep. Oh, yep. We're gonna go into the map first. So, for those of you who may have not watched a Spartan race in a little while, the Spartan has actually standardized their course quite a bit. So it's a 5K obstacle course with a lot of the more, for lack of better words, basic obstacles. You probably won't see a lot of fails out of the elite division in these obstacles. So we're gonna start off with just some walls, monkey bars. Obstacle 5 is the sandbag carry. If that is at all technical, that could be a point of interest for us. As we kind of scroll through the map here, so there's that sandbag carry that we talked about. Then we get
Yeah,
into the rope climb and the spear throw. Go ahead, Miles.
I was going to say it's interesting to have the sandbag carries normally closer towards the middle of the course.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little early on out of the normal. I'm not sure if they had it early on in the Jacksonville race, but I'll be interested to
Yeah, sometimes
see
it can
how they
be.
affect everything.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a mile or so in. So these guys will be getting there pretty quickly, probably running, as far as the men go, probably running low 5 minute pace into that sandbag carry. Good chance, especially if it's flat and fast. So it'll be interesting to see who jostles for position there. And then I think another big point of interest for 2025 miles is going to be obstacle 7, the spear throw. Right, Spartan was known to do burpees at every failed obstacle. They did away with that starting around 2022. They went all penalty loops, and then now they've initiated burpees back in 2025 for only the spear throw. So any other fail would be a loop. Obstacle 7 spear throw is going to be burpees, and it's going to be the most likely to see anybody fail.
Yeah, basically, if you miss the spear, you're out of the race in a sprint. At this level, like it was before, we've seen in previous years when they did have the burpee penalties, you do spear. I don't care how fast you can do burpees at this pace and this level of competition. You miss the spear, you go do your burpees, but you're out of podium contention. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I mean we've seen people come back from it. You know, you think of Ryan Kent and VJ Jones in the Seattle race. I believe that might have been a super though. But we have seen some great things happen, so we'll see what shakes out here. Right after that though, we do have a multi rig, which generally has been all rings in a sprint. Sometimes you might see a bar in there. Really depends on the course designers and the RD there. But again, generally something that doesn't trip up too many people. But you never know, you might get a slip, especially if it's wet in any capacity. Then we go right into a bucket carry, and then we skip right into past the super section, right into obstacle 17. So we go from so you're following the red line here, and you go right into the Atlas carry and vertical cargo. Okay, yeah. So I'm being told no vertical cargo. You just have a wall here. So for some reason, probably a cool. All right, and then right into after the vertical cargo that is now a wall, we're gonna go right into a barbed wire crawl, which the aforementioned Adam Beach insanely fast at a barbed wire crawl. So I've seen videos of him on Instagram doing it, and just I probably couldn't run as fast as he could barbed wire crawl in some of these cases. So he is willing to just completely remove all of his backskin to get there to make a pass on somebody. So I'm curious to see how he approaches it this time. But right after the
Yeah,
barbed wire crawl, we'll go and do the classic rolling mud and dunk wall, get him nice and gross into the final gauntlet of obstacles.
I'm excited to watch this barbed wire crawl. I have not seen Adam Beach do this, and now I'm really excited. We just need to fast forward right to that scene again.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
we'll
hoping
get
we
to
get
it.
a good,
We'll get to it.
yeah, I'm hoping we get a good one out of him to him tonight. All right, and then we got a final gauntlet, which generally speaking is the last 400 to 200 meters. You're going to see 5 or 6 obstacles running through them quickly. You've got the traverse wall, slip wall, Hercules hoist, plate drag, A-frame cargo, and fire jump. And I believe that traverse wall is going to, like, I've heard Spartan's actually going back to doing some classic obstacles. So I believe that traverse wall is essentially the Z wall, but just one panel. Now it's just it's your standard rock wall that they had way back when Spartan started in like 2012, 2013 type of
Yeah.
obstacle.
You know, what also interesting is I noticed on that map that looks very spectator friendly. The way they have it mapped out, that
Yes.
looks like really good course design. I wasn't in North Carolina, so I don't know for sure, but based upon that map, it looks like it's really good for spectators. And here we see the women lining up.
Yeah, so unsure if they are putting the women and the men at the same time. Um, same time. Same time, I'm
Oh,
being
okay.
told. All
Okay.
right. So, oh, yep, we got the
The
national
national
anthem.
anthem. See Kevin Thompson there with the tattoos on the back.
Yep, yep,
Yep,
yep. So you've got
Sabrina in the
Sabrina,
light
who is
blue.
yeah. You've got Cassandra's in the dark blue tank top. Um, you've got Nick Ryker over there. He's next to the man in the black, who is Mike Strobel, who we mentioned earlier.
Mike Strobel opting for the T-shirt on. In
He always
OCR, it's
does.
rare now. You never see anyone wearing the shirt.
Yeah, Team Onyx.
You know, it's really interesting.
Here
So I was I was speaking with Nicholas Riker. He did this race. He didn't do the first one. I was asking him if he is going to be following the series. He's totally unsure. He has a lot of obligations with teaching. He's an eighth grade science teacher, which is, hey, hats off. I find extremely virtuous. What an incredible job out there. Being a teacher is one of the greatest jobs you can do. Also, maybe one of the hardest, right, for eighth graders. So props to
Mhm.
him, but it's unsure whether or not he's going to do more races after this for the U.S. National
Yeah,
Series.
well, yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, I know the school schedule probably Big Bear probably might not be in the cards, but maybe Utah could be in the cards. I also know he actually recently got engaged. So definitely congratulations to Nick for his engagement. So we'll see, probably planning a wedding and all that good stuff. I'm going through it myself, Miles. So definitely
Okay.
I know it can be time consuming.
Yeah, absolutely. I know how it goes. I know how it goes. That's fantastic, man. The other thing
Also,
is, if you're gonna, some of the people are gonna commit. I doubt you'd see many people just do two of these races. I think you're either gonna do
mhm.
all of them or just one. Like maybe it's a local race and it happens to be part of the U.S. National Series. But I very doubt you're going to see many of these people going for the U.S. National Series just doing 2 races, right? You're either going to go all in or maybe one. Traveling's
Yeah,
expensive, it's time intensive.
exactly. Yeah, like Nick is from Nashville, so he's decently close to Charlotte, probably a few hours
Yeah.
drive.
So some of the people you're going to want to watch out for here. You see Cassandra Gill there in the front, and Claudia Bongiovanni from Italy. Of course, an OG favorite, Kaci Monroe. It's always good to see her at the
Yep.
starting line. She's talk about doing a lot of races. She does fantastic. And then Sabrina,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to mess up her last name. I still don't know how to enunciate it, pronounce it correct. And then of course there in the men's field, some of the names we're going to want to look out for. That is Adam
Adam
Beach, like we
Beach
were
right
talking
there.
about before. Yeah, Matteo Pelisa is the Italian pro team member that'll be there. Grayson West, of course, Mike Strobel, as we talked about earlier, and you see now some of these other gentlemen that weren't in Jacksonville: Kevin Thompson, Nicholas Riker, Nathan Green. One of my favorites, Cole
Alderosa.
DeRosa.
Oh,
Yeah,
you mentioned
Cole
same time.
DeRosa,
Yeah.
52,
Yeah,
53 years
I'm really
old.
glad to see. Yeah, and I'm not sure if this is also an age group series race. I know some of them are. I'm really glad to see him lining up elite and not age group. He'll usually do
Yeah.
elite for most of our regional races, and he'll usually podium. Yeah, Cole's out
Well,
there.
the thing
Yep.
is, he doesn't. He's tired of. He doesn't want to just. He just constantly wins his age group. It's gotten too easy for him. I love that he's
Hmm.
like, okay, he wants to be pushed. He wants to be challenged by the faster guys. For him to do age group, too easy for him. He wins by a lot because he's just a phenom, an absolutely fantastic guy. I get to talk to him here
Yeah,
and there
actually,
about him after every race.
I'm an East Coast guy myself. So a lot of these guys I've raced against, and a lot of these guys have given me a lot of problems. Mike Strobel's on that list, Adam Beach is on that list, Cole DeRosa's on that list. So by problems, I mean in the best way, or definitely a lot of good battles for sure. So yeah, they're some quick guys. I've gotten it firsthand.
Yeah. So for how long have they been having the men and women go off at the same time? I think this is really cool.
Yeah, I believe it's just been since last year.
Right? I know it's
And it's
recent.
nice too because yeah, like someone fast like Cassandra Gill you see on the on the left side there, she's super fast. She's gonna head out there with a lot of the top men, and really a distance on some of the other women who might not be as quick.
You see the Green brothers there too, or at least Marquez. You see him there. I
Yep,
believe he should be the gentleman with the American flag shirt, if I remember right.
yep. We got Marquez
Oh,
and
and there's his
Nathan.
brother. No, I'm sorry, in the pink. The brothers are wearing the pink shorts. You always see him using that in Savage Race.
Yep, you got the pink shorts. Yep, it's always hard to tell them apart for sure.
Right? They're twins too. It's
All
like
right, so. Yep. So coming around this turn, we're gonna have Nick Ryker in the early lead. Looks like Adam Beach, Dustin Needham right behind Marquez brothers. You've got Kevin Thompson. You've also got Kean O'Boyle in the American flag shorts, who was just on camera moments ago. And he did really well at a Midwest OCR race that I was able to cover. So definitely hoping for some big things from him too.
looks like Kaci Monroe in first place right there so far. I could be wrong about that, but then Cassandra coming up. They're all going to keep each other
Yep.
within striking distance.
Oh yeah, this looks like we're gonna get a little nice little pack forming. Yeah, so Kaci Monroe, we believe to be in the blacktop.
Mm-hmm.
Claudia. Oh, stand correct. At least McClintock is in the blacktop.
Oh, Casey's wearing green. Okay, I was wrong about that.
So look out for her. Look out for green for Kaci. All right, this man here is Dustin Needham with the back tattoos there. He's also been a guy who's an aging athlete in his 40s. Puts his nose in there with elite for a lot of races, and does well. Generally top 10 finish. So looking forward to
Yeah, he's been extremely consistent for years. He's never let up off the gas. He may not have won any series, but he gets on the podium and he's been consistent. He works hard.
I believe he was actually second in last year's series. I know, no, not to do any disservice there. I know it was a little bit lighter on the competition front, just for as numbers go. But you can only race who shows up, and I believe he did get second last year's series.
One of the Green brothers has the blood cupping marks on his back. Maybe that's how we'll distinguish the two. The twins.
Yeah, right.
One has the blood cup marks.
Yeah. I never had. Have you ever had that treatment? Never had that treatment before.
No, I never tried it. Apparently, the way I understand it is there's a little bit of science behind it, but it's not conclusive of whether or not it actually works. So I would love.
Well,
I should research that more as certified personal trainer and whatnot. I should learn more about that. But I looked into it a little bit.
yeah, we'll have to see how it goes for. We'll just say Mr. Green because again, it's so hard to know who's who on those two guys.
So
Really
this is interesting. These fences now. This is something new for Spartan. They're electrified. Maybe taking a little sample from Tough Mudder, right?
interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, EST for those for those mudders out there is obstacle. A lot of people put their skip their bands on when it comes to World's Toughest Mudder. It hurts. I did World's Toughest Mudder last year, and I was getting as low as possible. I was putting my face in that water to avoid any sort of shock. So, wake them up in the morning.
Absolutely, especially in those longer races. I would just stop and slowly maneuver my way around the strings.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how many strings are hanging where, you can totally do that or go right up underneath it. I don't blame you. We've all seen the videos of the guys that get real crazy, that interlock arms and just run through it. And
To get zapped. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So here we go again. We got a good shot of the lead here. Nick Ryker, Adam Beach, the Green brothers are in there. Kevin Thompson, Mateo's in there. But right now it's Nick Ryker who is leading the charge into the hay wall. We're already 4 minutes into the race here, so
Benjamin, leapfrog. Go
very
down.
well could be solidly 1,000 meters in right now at the pace they're able to run. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what
The
they
taller
can
guys
do
made a little-
moving forward.
Forgive me. Taller
Yeah,
guys
looks like
made
it's
a little
Adam
gap
Beach.
right there.
Yeah, Adam Beach and Nick Ryker right now are putting a bit of a gap. Probably got 7 or so seconds on the next guys right now.
Some of the classic obstacles you see at the beginning of these races. I usually just see those bales, the giant bales of hay, here at the Texas races. You don't always see those. I think those are just something that maybe they have on the course and they're like, hey, let's utilize it.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes it's a farm and they just have them anyway, so it's like might as well. Right, you'll see that often with a lot of races with that are heavy in trail. There'll just be a down tree. They're like, we're not going to move the tree. We're just going to make them go over it.
Yeah,
It's not technically
absolutely.
an obstacle, but kind of is. A good rhythm breaker, especially when you're doing, probably to be conservative, sub 6 pace on this section. It's really nice to have like a little thing got to go over and get back to pace.
Yeah, a little bonus obstacle. A little extra
Exactly.
for your money.
That's
Pretty
right.
good. Nicholas Rucker running tall and strong. Adam Beach looking good.
Yeah. Now Adam Beach is a 15:25 5K PR. So definitely a quick runner. Nick Ryker also no slouch there. I don't know what his 5K is necessarily. I think his mile is something around 4:20. So he's got the wheels. You notice here the guys are doing a lot of the guys are doing switch grips.
Benjamin, turn your flash off.
Yeah.
Except for the greens, of course, because they're
Flash is on.
ninjas.
Yeah, I noticed Nicholas Riker took a slightly safer approach by taking every single bar, whereas Adam Beach was kind of using the monkey technique. Comes Mike Strobel there, closest towards the screen.
Yeah. Beautiful view, also, by the way.
Oh,
The sunrise,
gorgeous.
and these monkey bars. We'll take it.
Now, of course, I wasn't at this race, so I wonder if the dew point is hit there and those monkey bars are wet. If our producer could fill us in, I believe he was there.
Yeah, you
Okay.
look. You've got Cassandra
There is
Gill here,
Cassandra.
struggling a good bit. I don't know if she was wearing gloves at the start line, but she has gloves on now, so I'm not sure if she's opting to carry those with her. So yeah, looks like it might be a part of her
She
strategy to carry gloves with her.
Yeah, she may take them on and off as necessary. And keep in mind, she's not very tall, so something like monkey bar is very easy for a lot of the taller guys or taller people. There's a little extra challenge there when you have a wider gap to cross your wingspan.
Absolutely, yeah. You saw Cassandra have to kind of kip with her legs to make those transitions. So, but
You know, smooth
nicely
the
done.
control,
Looks like no,
easy.
yep, looks like no problems through the top 5 women and top 15 or so men.
Wow, look how sloppy that already is. First race in the morning, and look at that mud.
Well, you got to consider too that they probably had a few thousand racers head through it on Saturday Super, but just look at the gap here that Adam has put on Nick, right? Separate frames when they were together previously. So very solid job by Adam. It's hard to know exactly what happened in there. Maybe it could have been even a fall or something that Nick had, or Adam just really turned on the gas in that trail.
Wow, look how deep that is. It's really hard about that is sliding around, just keeping stable. This is where your trail shoes, having the right OCR shoe, a good trail shoe that sheds mud and water, is key. Saves you lots of time from sliding around. You'll see a lot of people, first-time racers, show up in sneakers, junk sneakers or not, and they're just slipping and sliding everywhere. And especially here in the elite field, you got to pinch every second you possibly can. And every little bit of technology, like good shoes, will pay dividends.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of those aforementioned like Nike free run shoes are going to get left in this mud pile for the open waves for sure.
I'm surprised how many of these gentlemen aren't pointing their toes. Sometimes when you get that real deep mud and you don't know how deep it is, the best way to do it is point your toes at an angle so you come in and out of the mud. But because if you enter the mud flat, a lot of times it could just suck your shoe right off.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got Adam Beach here finishing the rope climb and just leaving the rabbit in the dust. I mean, it's not easy to keep up with Adam, especially while you're holding a gimbal. But yeah, it's a good time to shout out those aforementioned rabbits as well. They do God's work when it comes to giving us coverage that we can call. Right? If it wasn't for those rabbits, we would have no idea what to call.
Yeah, those guys are usually just legitimate athletes in their own right. Some of these guys are major elite athletes that just didn't want to race this race, but still want to show up, see their friends, support their friends. Hey, sure, I'll hold a gimbal and I'll run alongside everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is a great community. There's Calderosa.
Yep, Calderosa,
one of my
right with Mike Strobel. And then I also haven't mentioned he was just approaching the rope climb as the camera panned away, but Dustin Livingood, another aging athlete who's still making elite podiums into his 40s. Also definitely a guy to look out for sure now and in the future. All right, here we got a good shot of Cassandra Gill.
Right behind you.
These views never cease to amaze, man. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
An exceedingly muddy course.
All right, here we got Nick Ryker coming in to the spear throw, right along with Kevin Thompson. No signs on Adam yet. Unsure if he made it or not. I don't see him doing. Oh, he already threw. Yep. So he's definitely made it. No burpees for him. All right, here we got the multi-rig where we do have looks like rings and a bar, and then a few more rings. Unlikely to be any issue for Adam. Yep.
Catch your breath, buddy.
So that rig really seems like one of their standard, like you were mentioning earlier about how they've standardized a lot of the races. In most sprints, I think you're going to see that exact same setup on the rigs, where it's just 3 rings to a horizontal bar to 3 more rings, something of that nature. The rings are not terribly far apart, so especially for some of these taller guys, they can just reach to the next ring. You really don't got to build much momentum and swing.
Right. Yep. So no problem for the top 3. Nick Ryker and Kevin Thompson about 20 seconds behind Adam Beach. 4th, Kean O'Boyle, and 5th, Nathan Green. So if we do get a shot of the next Green brother on the rig, we know it's Nathan. Not sure if we're going to get that luxury, but we hope so. Nice little duck under there. Honestly, not a decent pitch here. Probably a couple, probably at least, some sections 3 to 5%, which keep running at a hard pace. That'll really take some toll on you.
Or is it now? Like, ask our producer if he knows if that's Claudia.
We don't believe that's Claudia. Claudia's in a shirt in like a gray dry
That's
fit.
Sabrina. Okay, that's Sabrina in the shirt. Couldn't tell.
Yep. So that's Sabrina Buhagiar. We're gonna go with. Hope I got that right. Apologies.
We're both butchering her name.
Yeah.
She's gonna sneak up behind us at one of the races.
We got a party in the burpee pit. I'd love to get a pan to see who's there, because this is a big opportunity for a lot of guys rolling up in, who knows, 12th to 15th place. You see a bunch of guys in a sprint doing some burpees, and you hit your spear and you're in the top 5, halfway through the race.
Oh no.
Cassandra Gill misses the spear. Opportunity for Sabrina, also misses. Oh my god. Absolute carnage here. It looks a little low, Miles, don't you think?
Yeah, it really does. I don't like the new circular style. It seems lower. I just like I prefer the Heyman.
Yep. Claudia. Okay. Yep. So we have Elise.
There's
Kaci.
Claudia. Does that count? The end of the spear hit
on the ground.
So I don't think that counts. She's gonna have to do burpees as well. Wow, a lot of these women are having to do burpees.
It's wide open. Oh, that's in. That's in.
Yeah, that's in.
Claudia. Now, huge opportunity, right? Because Cassandra at this point was probably on burpee 10 to 15, somewhere in that ballpark. You see her in the right hand side of your screen there in blue doing burpees still. So, big opportunity for Claudia.
Here's the split going into the spear throw.
Yep, so Claudia had about a 35-second deficit that she was able to erase. Oh, never mind. So much for erasing it. So now she's going to have to do a penalty loop. No burpees for this, so a little bit extra running. Really opens the door back up for any of those women who had missed their spear and who might be able to make this.
And I think this is going to be an extremely competitive field for the women's elite as well, because I think the vast majority of these women, with the exception of maybe 3, competed in the first race. So they're showing up for the second race. They're already here. Chances are they're going to do full 3 races at the very least, so it's a pretty competitive field. Whereas most of the men that showed up today were not in Jacksonville for the first race.
Right. So here goes a lot of our men doing the bucket carry. I believe the light pink shorts is Nathan Green there. Here's Claudia again. She looks to be done with her loop. This is Sabrina, looking pretty labored, expectedly, should say, after those burpees. Cassandra's already on the rig. So, curious to see if we can get an idea of who's where in terms of placement now, post spear carnage. Let's see how Sabrina handles her rig. Oh no.
Man, right off.
Yeah, you got to match these rings if they're even a little wet.
At this point, Cassandra made it through. We know that.
Yep, so even though we didn't see it, we see Cassandra made it through. So it's probably most likely Claudia is 1, Cassandra's 2. This here is Kaci Monroe here. So if she's able to make it, which she has a lot of experience. Yep. So Kaci on the far left, Elise on the far right. They're pretty much neck and neck, going hand for hand here. This is gonna be.
They're playing it safe.
Yep, match both those rings. Nice, she's got it. Nice.
Now, from what I understand, something we can't see in that video that I have friends that called me after this race on Saturday. Those rings are really muddy. They're pretty nasty and muddy, and so I could see a lot of people falling off them. You can't quite tell. Usually the rings are pretty easy on those rigs, but in this one specifically, you can't see it, but it's really slippery.
Well, you got to remember we had the sandbag carry with all that mud at the end. Those sandbags
Oh
are
yeah.
brown, right? Because I'm sure a lot of the
Oh
open
yeah.
waivers were dropping them through that trail, so they got real muddy, and they don't rinse those things off for the elites. So your hands are gross. You may have just done burpees, so you may be really tired. Again, hands might be muddy from the burpees. So a lot of factors went into that rig, I feel.
Looks like Kevin Thompson's running form looks really good there after all of this. It looks like he's still fresh. This is
Kevin
really
Thompson is an
Cassandra Gill's.
incredible runner.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic. He's been huge in the OCR lately. He's definitely one of the big new names. Cassandra Gill. This is really her race to lose. I would bargain at this point.
Well, right now she's behind Claudia because she didn't do burpees. Thing is, it's unlikely she even knows where Claudia is. She's gonna find out probably at this bucket carry that she's close. That Claudia is closer than Cassandra thinks
Oh,
she is.
okay. Yeah, I thought Cassandra was in the lead there. Okay.
Not quite because Cassandra did burpees and Claudia did not.
Well,
But
that's
again,
right.
Claudia failed the rig, so therefore it's probably decently close. Okay, so Cassandra's coming into the bucket right now. I don't know if we have a split here, but probably still about 20, 30 seconds because 30 burpees, that's a solid 2 minutes, even if you're quick. So probably longer than most penalty loops are going to take.
Some big mud hills.
Yeah. Not
Sometimes
bad.
and that's a pretty big gap in between them. A lot of the races you could actually just jump from one mud hill to the next, and a lot of them,
Yeah.
not there. That is a pretty big gap.
Yeah. This looks like to be still Adam, so he's still got. Yep, so he's still got he's got about a 30-second lead on Nick Ryker, who's only 4 seconds ahead of Kevin Thompson, so who actually looks like Kevin Thompson since that wall split is past Nick. Nick trying to find the shortest path possible, don't blame him.
20 minutes into this race, we've got to be getting closer to the end now.
Yeah, absolutely. Most of the men in the sprints are 26 to 28 minutes, so we're definitely getting to the nitty-gritty here. And here I think with Nick, Nick and Kevin, this is where experience is going to matter. Nick's been doing it longer, but Nick's been more into the hybrid stuff, the Deca and the Hyrox, whereas Kevin is really focused a lot on OCR. I think he had something like 11 wins and 14 podiums in the elite divisions last year, where I don't even know if Nick's done 14 races in the last 3 years. So some of these obstacle transitions are going to be a little bit rusty for Nick. All right, here we get another shot of Claudia, again with a beautiful sunset at this venue here in Concord, North Carolina. Yeah. Stop. Sure, if I was racing, I'd want to stop and pull up my phone. All right, now here we're going to get a view of the traverse wall. Again, as I mentioned during the map briefing, it's no longer a Z wall. This is actually, this brown color is how it looked back in in the 2013, 2014 era before they released the Z wall. Now, the tricky thing about this is that in the Z wall, you get a few holds and then the corner, and you can kind of take a little rest. There's no area to rest. So definitely curious to see how Adam's going to do it. And you can see it's taking a good bit of time because even though it's a 30-second lead, Kevin's already also on it at the same time as Adam.
Actually, stay here. I'll go. Keep him in frame.
It looks like Kevin's making up a ton of ground. He does hit the bell and get out of there, but I want to say Kevin probably made up a solid 20 seconds on that Z wall. Or traverse wall, I should say.
Oh, the ground is just so muddy everywhere we go.
Speaking of Kevin, Kevin's also a ninja coach as well. I've seen him before at some of the ninja competitions. So I'm not sure how much ninja he actually does, but he must be doing some obstacle instruction with the kids at the ninja gym. So that's probably also helping, his ability versus a guy like Adam on the wall.
Well, he does a lot of mandatory completion races.
Yes.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of these athletes that have qualified to represent the U.S. for the World Obstacle Racing Federation, if I remember correctly. And so a lot of those are mandatory completion or have a band system, and they tend to be more
You stay
technical
there.
obstacles.
I'm gonna
So
go
the
up.
best way to train for a lot of those is going to a ninja gym. So you'll see a lot of these athletes in the elite field spend time in the ninja gyms if they don't coach.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, here we got a grace. Claudia and now Cassandra seems to have caught right back up. You see Cassandra putting those gloves back on, so she's gonna hope to make a move here on an obstacle. But typically, I mean, I know Claudia failed the rig. Typically, the Europeans are usually a little bit better than the Americans in terms of obstacle proficiency. Again, because of those mandatory obstacle completions.
So
And
I
but
think there's something
wow,
to be said for that strategy of running right behind the person and then letting them hear that there's someone right behind them, and you do that for a little while. It kind of wears them down mentally a little bit. They know someone's right behind them. It adds a little stress and anxiety knowing there's someone right on your butt. I wonder if she did that on purpose, running right behind her and then went for the pass, or she was just like, "Hey, let's see what kind of pace my competition is going, and what that means if when I pass, what I have, how fast the person is behind me."
absolutely. Yeah, and Cassandra did make the pass there on Claudia. And here in the men's race, I know we're going back and forth quite frequently here because we're covering two races at once, so bear with us. But here we've got Adam. I'm really impressed by Adam's strength, his speed on the Herc hoist, his speed on the plate drag, especially when he had Kevin right down his neck. Um, just side of Adam, I don't really think I've seen in a while because we know he's such a great runner. He's gotten good at the obstacles as far as the rigs go, but I haven't really seen his strength show up in the same way as I think it did today. But yeah, I mean, just look at this time on the clock here, 24 minutes. Kevin is really putting up a good fight, but I think it's probably going to be too late.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so your
Yep, over
first
the
place
fire.
male, it's in the bag. Adam
Wow.
Beach, 24
And he is
minutes.
exhausted. He put everything into it. That's incredible. Just collapsed right on the ground immediately.
Kevin Thompson, second place elite male. Not very far behind at all. I think we'll see the third place male. There we go. Nick Ryker
There he
about to
is.
cross the finish. He just has the cargo net to do, and then that's it. I think that's in the bag. That looks like your first, second, and third elite males.
Yep, looks to be our podium. Adam Beach, Kevin Thompson, Nick Ryker.
There's Cassandra
All right.
taking souls.
And
Beating up
again,
the
just with
men.
the sandbag carry, it is sloppy, this section, of course, which could provide some traction problems throughout the last 800 meters or so.
Yeah, her running looks great. It hasn't missed. Almost like she's picked up speed. She knows the end is right in sight, and she is going to. Looks like this is her race to lose. She's doing fantastic.
Yep. And as our producer mentioned before, you kind of ate your words there, Miles, on someone doing burpees and being off podium contention. Not only podium contention,
Yeah,
but it looks like Cassandra very well might win this race after doing 30 burpees, which in a
I
sprint
do. I will eat
that
my
might be a
shoes.
first. Yeah, that might be a first.
Absolutely amazing. That was really surprising how
We
many
gotta love
women
these
missed that spear throw. That mixed everything up. But man, I can't believe she managed to do that and get the win in a sprint.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see the experience too out of Cassandra too. She knew when she needed the gloves, she took them off, and then she tucked them right back in her sports bra. Knows exactly where they are to pull them out, probably for the Herc hoist or whatever obstacle might, or the plate drag obstacles that are coming up. She's just so efficient with taking her gloves on and off. Because it's probably a little too warm to wear those gloves during the section she doesn't need them for. So, impressive attention to detail, for sure.
And I believe that's Claudia from Italy. They're in second place behind Cassandra. Smart. She's drying off her hands real quick. So a little pro tip.
Yep, Yep.
Yeah, whenever you come in the grip intensive things and your hands are muddy and wet, especially this went through those mud hills, hey man, run them across not just any bush. Make sure it's not poison ivy or thorns because they're out there. But
Yep.
it's something that you maybe know is not poisonous. Rub your hands on them, get that dirt off, and you're going to need it for this grip.
Yep.
What a
So
battle.
here's Claudia. Yep, so Cassandra in first, about halfway through. Now, I mentioned earlier that Cassandra actually trains at the same rock climbing gym that I train at. So I'm pretty familiar with, like I said, I'm pretty familiar with her. Yep, not surprised that she made that. Like she was working. I think she goes to the rock climbing gym at least twice a week. So that's where she gets her grip training in. You can kind of go ninja gym or climbing gym. Kind of mostly can really get the work in that you need on that front.
Yeah, Kaci's got graded obstacles too. I believe that's her right there in third place. Look at the progress she's making. She's gapping some space there.
Yeah, she's kind of trying to do to Claudia like Kevin tried to do to Adam.
Yeah.
So
Attack on the obstacles.
Yeah, Claudia's off and running, so we'll have to see if Kaci, excuse me, can make up that ground. All right, here's Cassandra. Pretty much seems to be over at this point. If assuming this holds, it's going to be Cassandra and Adam both going back to back in the series. So definitely big days on both fronts for the two leaders.
There, she's flying now. She picked up the speed. She knows she's close to the end.
Absolutely.
Coming into the last few obstacles.
All right, so Claudia's off the slip wall at the same time that Kaci's getting on. Kaci's a good bit taller than Claudia, I believe, at least what it looks like. So I'll be curious to see if she can make up any ground on this Herc hoist.
Come on, Kaci!
Let's see the technique here. Oh, so Claudia's going just strength, just pure brute strength, straight up, making quick work of it. Honestly, that's impressive work for not using the full body. But here goes Kaci, really using that full body. But Claudia's already on the way down. Let's see. So she drops the bag at 29.45. Ooh, this is close. And Kaci
you can
drops
feel
the
the pressure.
50. We got 5 seconds between second and third. That's the biggest difference here. It's going to come down to that plate, the last few obstacles. This plate drag and the cargo.
I don't think I've ever seen the plate drag this close to the end. It's always been
it's rare.
Middle race, right?
It's kind of randomly off in the woods somewhere.
You see everyone's. This is what I was talking about being spectator friendly. You can see the venue there. Everyone's cars parked, the parking section there. Mm-hmm. Really great that all the spectators can see the action.
Wow. So some big moves out of Kaci here. This is tight. This is very tight. What does Kaci have left in the tank? What does Claudia have left in the tank?
This way.
Oh,
Straight
wow.
through.
Looks like Claudia ran a little. Yeah, Claudia ran a little extra. She ran towards the top of the plate drag when she didn't have to, which a race this close, that could actually matter.
Yeah, absolutely. But I understand if you've done these races, you understand race brain. And when you're going full bore, especially you're 5 seconds apart for podium positions, these ladies are leaving it all out there. And so it's easy to just have tunnel vision, go forward and miss something like a simple turn.
Mm-hmm. Kaci was looking pretty labored after that plate drag. I have to imagine she may have used a match there. Looks like she was pulling pretty hard. So Claudia's already arriving at the cargo. Kind of the same way to Kevin to Adam, it might be a little too late. We'll see. Oh, she's climbing though.
All right, there's your first place female, Cassandra Gill. Just making waves in OCR.
Yeah. Once she passed Claudia on the spear, I knew it was going to be it. But look at this. Look at this.
Oh, look how close they are.
Roll. Oh, wow.
Awesome. There's Claudia, your second place female, followed very closely by Kaci Monroe.
Yep, so it's gonna be
Wow, what a race.
1, 2, 3. Yeah. Now, again, as we mentioned before, the actual race doesn't pay out, but the series does. So there's still a lot of valuable points to be earned with 4, 5, 6, 7, so on and so forth. Especially if you're gonna put your focus into the series.
Well, what's interesting is that we saw Nicholas Ryker got third, I believe, right? And he may not do. He wasn't in Jacksonville. He may not do any of the other races. Those are valuable points that other people needed. Like I said, only 4 of these gentlemen that raced today also raced in Jacksonville, as opposed to the women's field, where only about 3 of the women did not race Jacksonville the last time. So a lot of these women are neck and neck chasing the series. I think the points in the men's series is going to be really thrown off and be really interesting to see what goes from here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I mentioned earlier Brian Gowiski, who is second in Jacksonville, is injured and may not be racing the series any longer. Nick Ryker, like we mentioned, has other commitments, may not be racing the series. So honestly, because we were so focused on the women, on that close battle with the women's, I'm not really even sure who got 4th, 5th. You got to think Mike Strobel could have been up there, Cole DeRosa, Kean O'Boyle. So a few names I might have. We'll have to wait for our producer to have a list for us to figure out where we're at in the series. All right, cool. Yeah, before we get to the result update, we're going to talk to some of the winners here. So we're going to cue it over there. Right after Elise finishes.
That's good. Adam Beach, first place again.
Yep.
Second race in the U.S. National Series. How you feeling?
Good. Last time I was running with a couple of guys and they both missed their spears, and I could kind of chill after that. This time they didn't, and they were there for a lot of the time. Like Kevin was right on me at the end, and that makes me feel better after I'm done. So it's like,
Did you actually had a good fight?
yeah. Like during the race, I'm like, man, I hope they miss their spears. But then after I'm done, I'm like, after I win, I'm like, all right, I'm kind of happy it was closer with the better competition.
You feel like you won more head-to-head, man to man. Yeah.
It feels a little like more accomplished.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sure. Awesome. All right. Well, what's next? Big Bear?
What is next? I'm not going to do Big Bear.
Utah,
probably.
All right.
I'm going to make one trip out west.
Nice.
I'm not a big mountain guy. And I don't think I've ever even been to elevation. So it might not be my best race, but like I'm going to finish out the series.
Yeah, Utah's probably the better bet.
Yeah, it's also in the summer, and I work I won't be working then, so it'll be easier to go out.
It's usually hot out there, but you guys run in the morning, so probably won't be too bad.
It's probably not humid.
Cool morning. Yeah, nice dry.
And in July, I'll be used to it.
What you been doing in between this race, last race, and this race to prepare?
I put in more mileage. I didn't really put in too much mileage over the winter, but I've been more consistent now. I've been keeping the workouts going, just a little more consistent than over the winter. As it gets warmer, I start training better.
So you said it was a pretty tight race. Anything of note that happened?
The dunk wall was or the rolling mud was super hard. The hardest one I've ever done. I had to flop and scratch and crawl. And then the traverse wall, I was just so scared because I had a decent lead and I just didn't. At that point, I was like, if I just get through this, I'll probably win. But Kevin came and he must have put 10 seconds because he flew through it. And then all of a sudden he was right behind me. And so I had to sprint hard to the finish.
Nice. Awesome. Well, good fight out there. Anybody want to shout out?
Girlfriend came with me. She's running right now. So as soon as you're done, I'll be going to find her on course and record her with my phone. Same thing as last time. My mom has volunteered at, I think, 80 races to give me the codes so I can race, especially when I didn't have as much money, so I could race. My dad built a rig and a spear throw Z-wall in my backyard, out of wood. It's a huge contraption. So both of them for sure.
Awesome. Thanks for talking to us.
Yep.
Congrats.
What's up?
Nick Ryker, third place today.
Sure, yeah.
Second race in the U.S. National Series. Did you come out here for fun, or are you going to do the rest of the series?
Came out for fun. Thought if I won, I would do the rest of the series, but winning was probably a long shot. Just a good rust buster. I need to get my butt kicked early on in the year. Most of my races, big races in the fall. So this was good. I got my butt kicked and hopefully just keep going with training now.
And you raced yesterday too, right?
No, I did not.
That's right, you did.
No.
Robert Killian raced.
Yeah. The other ball guy.
Okay, yeah.
Other ball pail guy. Yeah.
So you going to continue with the Decas this year?
Yeah, I'll continue with the Decas. Won't do one till coming back out here in Charlotte in June. And then I don't know. I'm a teacher. I'll have the summer off, so I might do some training. I might not. But the real goal this year is to win Deca Worlds. In a couple of weeks, I have the elite, doing doubles with Jared Newby at High Rocks. Trying to qualify for the Elite 15 that way. So,
awesome.
The Spartan, I love Spartan race. I've never had a bad experience at Spartan. All the stuff that happens like online with the elites is whatever. When you come out here, it's so much fun. They know how to throw on a great race, a great event. So I've always loved Spartan, always will. I probably would want to train. I should probably train more for this kind of stuff. I haven't done a trail run since last October. So, Adam, Kevin, absolute beasts. So yeah, it was a good day. Got my butt kicked and go back to train some more.
Yeah, good big goals for Deca and High Rocks coming up. That's awesome.
Yep, absolutely. That's the goals.
All right, anybody you want to shout out before you go?
Shout out my new fiance, Kira. We got engaged March 7th, so almost a month now of being engaged. She's a kindergarten teacher. I'm an 8th grade teacher, so I asked her in front of her kids.
Oh, wow.
My dad drove me out here. We sat in traffic for about 2 hours yesterday, standstill. So it's just awesome. Shout out to all my students. They motivate me. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And my mother and my mom.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats, man. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jack.
Good to see you, bro. What's up, man? You want to interview while they're taking a picture? Jack, how you doing today, Jack?
I'm doing pretty good. The course was muddy. Lots of mud.
Did you get in it?
Yeah, I got in it. I went into the creek. I ran around.
You guys are good to stop recording.
Jason just asked the videographers to stop recording. Even though they're volunteers, you can't really tell them what to do. But that's Jason for you.
Where's your best pictures today? Where are you expecting them to come
probably
from?
the multi-rig with the sunset in the background.
Nice.
Jason wasn't there because I don't know what he was doing. But I was there working hard. It was a great course. They finished in 24 minutes.
Yeah, fast,
very
fast.
One of the fastest sprints I've ever seen in my life, including BJ, because I think BJ's fastest was 28, 29.
All right. Well,
shout out to BJ. You better get out here.
Yeah. Congrats. Thanks for talking to us, Jack.
Yeah, anytime. You want to keep talking?
Go talk to Cassandra. Cassandra Gill, first place for the women today at Charlotte, North Carolina. How you feeling?
Excited there. It was not fun missing Spear, but at least like this time it was like earlier on too, so you had time to kind of collect yourself and just do your best, try to catch back up.
You really had a good fight pulling it back. You passed her, I think, right after that second wall.
Yeah.
Right before the bar
crawl in the mud.
How'd you feel? You feel like you were being chased after that the whole way?
I was just like running your own race and everything too, because going into the wall and everything, the flat wall with the rock climbing holds, you have to pace yourself, collect yourself, and you start to like lose your grip a little bit, collect yourself every few seconds, because it really matters then, slipping off versus hanging through then.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got a little more comfortable, got yourself collected. Any special training you've been doing between these races?
No, I mean, I had my first like down week here in many months here since I'm getting ready for the Morzine Ultra. So doing some longer runs and doing a mix of 2 workouts twice a week, hills once every 2 weeks, some tempo work, all of that. Yeah, so getting ready for longer races and also just building up engine and speed work a bit.
You got a nice big cushy lead. We expect to see you at Big Bear or Utah?
Yes, I will be at Big Bear. I'm going to go to a company conference in San Francisco the week before and then swing down to LA and drive over there.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Anybody want to shout out?
My husband Joe again, and also my parents, like being so supportive and encouraging and everything too. It's nice hearing my mom how impressed, like how strong I am for being a petite woman. So just family and my brother too. He's a physical therapist and has like so many insights for helping me out too.
Oh, fantastic. All right, congrats again. Good to see you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks. Kevin Thompson, good to see you out here. Second race in the Spartan U.S. National Series. Your first race for the series this year, right?
Yes, sir, and my only.
And you're only? Yeah. Okay. Just coming out to take some podium points.
Yeah, I live like 30 minutes away, so I was like, not going to pass it up. But I can't get out to either of the West Coast ones, so
Okay. Well, how'd it feel today?
good. My legs felt terrible for the first half mile because I raced yesterday. And then once we hit monkey bars, I gained back up to third, and then I started feeling good. So I was like, let's push it and see what happens.
Robert Killian racing yesterday. Which race was harder, today or yesterday?
I think yesterday, actually. I missed my spear yesterday, so I did 30 burpees, and I still came 44 seconds from Killian. So I was like trying to catch him, and I could see him as I was gaining background the whole time, but I never got back up to him.
Oh, wow. Crazy. All right, what else are you running since you're not running the series this year?
Some more Savages. What else am I doing?
Savage with the payouts this year.
Yeah.
You're going to try and make as many as you can?
Yep. I've been to the first 2 so far. Can't make Gainesville because of work, but I'm trying to get to as many as I can this year. And then I'll be doing Sweden for FISO. That's about it, I think.
All right, very cool. Anybody want to shout out?
My wife, she couldn't be here today. Normally, she grabs my stuff and then takes care of me. So, but she has to work today, so I'm here alone.
Awesome. All right, great to see you, man.
Thank you.
Congrats. Kaci Monroe's third place again at the second race in the U.S. National Series. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Not that I'm complaining about third, but all last year I got third places, so third is very comfortable right now. I would like to get up into the next first or second, hopefully, with the mountain races coming up.
And you had a good hard fight all the way up until you caught, you were on the tail of second place on the A-frame. How was that, trying to push over that?
A-frame is always a crapshoot how fast you can fall down it. Loved it. It was great. It felt good. I needed a little bit more miles, but this year it's sprints, so I got to get faster.
And we're expecting to see you at both of the next mountain races, right?
Yep.
Hopefully try to get out as many points as you can.
Yep. Hopefully the mountain's more my game, so I'm looking really, really forward to that.
And who you want to shout out again?
To Ireland and Jameson, my 2 little kids at home.
Hopefully they get to see this.
Yes.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right, yeah. So a lot to unpack there in those interviews. Those were was really fun. So thanks to our guys on site for getting those to us. But yeah, I'm actually leaving this race real excited for the next 2 mountain races. You know, you got Adam over there who's a little bit timid and afraid of those mountains compared to the flats, and then you've got Kaci on the women's side who is excited to hit the mountains. So it'll be really interesting to see how it shakes out.
Yeah, what's interesting about that too is I believe that all 3 of those women that podium today were in those same exact spots in Jacksonville. So it's a repeat podium if I'm getting that right. However, for the men, it'll be a much more of a mix-up. I can't wait to see what this does with the points.
Yep. Yeah, so I think our producer is going to be pulling that up for us. All right, so just for today's race, the men, the top 10, I'll run through it real quick. We had Adam Beach, Kevin Thompson, Nick Ryker, top 3. Then you had Nathan Green, Mike Strobel, Cole DeRosa, important positions in 4, 5, 6. And then you had Keno Boyle, Grayson West, Matteo Palizza, the Italian, in 9th, and Marquez Green in 10th.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
All right, and now this is the series leaderboard. Yeah, so Miles, you want to run through this?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you there. So these are the updated points. You can see Adam Beach won the first one in Jacksonville already, so he's doubling his points. But we'll see that even though with a 5th place for Mike Strobel today, it's still because of the points puts him in 2nd place overall in the series. And then, of course, even though Matteo Palizza, we were hearing from our producer that he wasn't feeling very well on this race. He's still good enough. They got sufficient enough points to still hold 3rd place overall in the national series so far. Really cool to have our friends come over from Italy and show up and show out like this. And then, of course, Grayson West will be in your 4th place there. Looks like he got 240 points there added on. So, and then what we didn't really get to see on the video too is I wish we would have saw more of this is Brian Gowiski. He was, I believe he was supposed to be at this race. I don't think I saw him on the line on here. I know he's there in Jacksonville. He's an OG OCR athlete that's been fantastic. He's always been up in the as a threat to the podium, and he's been very consistent over time. And then, of course, we see Kevin Thompson, who you and me already mentioned before. tons of races, and it looks like this is going to throw the points off a whole bunch because, like Nick Ryker said, he's probably not going to do another one. Kevin Thompson's probably not going to do another one. A few of these guys won't be at the other ones, and so it's taking away some points, and it's going to really shift things. So we'll see how that continues to affect Adam Beach and Mike Strobel. And if chances are the Italians came over and, hey, they ran the first race and they ran the second race, they're probably going to at least run the third, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, now we're going to go into the women here. Only 7 women lined up elite here today. We had Cassandra Gill, Claudia Bongiovanni, Kaci Monroe, top 3. 4th place, Sabrina Buhagar. 5th place, Elise McClintock. 6th place, Chloe Melkian. Shout out to the Armenians. And 7th place, Imogen Cross.
Yeah, I didn't see Imogen. She's a legend too herself. She's done tons of races. She was in the pink top. I'm sorry, we're hearing from her producer. I had missed her. I didn't recognize her on the video, but she's an outstanding.
Yeah.
She just did it really well in High Rocks, if I remember correctly. She's recently podiumed there.
Yes, yep, she's a good hybrid athlete. Yep. So on this list here, I know we might be missing some folks like Imogen there, but the top 3 again: Cassandra, Claudia, Kaci. You expect Kaci to maybe make a move up the rankings, possibly with those mountain courses. We've got Sabrina in 4th. Then we've got Elizabeth White, who we didn't see today, in 5th. You've also got Caitlin Frump, who we didn't see today, in 7th. I know she's actually from California. She may likely have used this one as her skip, so you got to keep that in mind, that some folks from the West Coast may have only done one trip to the East Coast, and they may have already done that in Jacksonville. So it'll still be anyone's game as far as the women's podium goes.
Yeah, and there's nothing on the screen right there, but Imogen's supposed to be in 10th place. But you know what's interesting, Tyler? There's 72 points, not a huge gap. That's very doable to overcome. So I wonder if Claudia can come up and pass Cassandra at 1 point, and possibly, hey, if Cassandra were to get 3rd, 4th, something that might actually cause Claudia to move up in the first. So like you were saying earlier, it's still anyone's national series.
Yeah,
there
especially
we go.
Such a huge gap in the points. Sometimes you see the points only be 1 or 2 points difference for each placement, but in this case, you're looking at first place gets 300 points, and third place we have 472 there for 2 third places. So our math whiz is, what is that, like 236 or so, if I got that right. Hopefully my math was correct there. So you never know. A lot of shaking can still happen.
Yep, it looks like some new names too. I'm really excited to get to know these new elite athletes that are new names, that are bringing, keeping the sport fresh and new. And it's not so predictable when you see, hey, if I know Lindsay Webster and Ryan Atkins are going to show up, I pretty much know who's winning the race most of the time, right? Anything can happen, but you get to know the same OG names after a while, and it's just really cool to see new people, new names, mixing it up and shaking everything up.
Absolutely. Awesome. All right, Miles, I think we are as a wrap on the second race here. Anything else you want to add?
No, it was great commentating with you. Love to see the sport and these beautiful backgrounds. What an absolute! I don't remember last time I see maybe Morzy in France for the Ultra Championship. Possibly views that are as beautiful as that. So it's really cool to see the sport thriving and doing better than ever. Thanks to our producer, Jason Dupree, for putting all this together, and all the rabbits for running. And a special shout out that I don't think we mentioned enough is the volunteers. Hey, OCR doesn't happen without the volunteers. Thank you so much for doing that.
Especially Adam Beach's mom for 80 or so races, as he mentioned. For sure.
Oh my God! Yeah,
love to see that, support her son in a unique way, as opposed to just giving him funds for the races. So that's great. All right, well,
That's
awesome.
love.
Well, this has been great. Got a lot of exciting momentum headed into the second half of the series. Join the Patreon. Jason just put up a graphic for that earlier. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day, night, and wherever time it might be for you.